Stafford in the Super Bowl.
All right, let's slide to the next topic here. The number one player in the 2022 high school class, Imani Bates, just decommitted from MSU. We also seen Jack Hoiberg transfer, Foster Lawyer transferred, Rocket Watts transferred. Dennis, I'm gonna come right at you with this one. You think the MSU basketball program is in trouble, or is this no need to be concerned about?
Yeah, I don't think they're in trouble. I mean, they still got a couple other guys that are coming in there. Hoiberg and what's his name? The other guy, he's a lawyer. Those guys are no losses. And, the thing about Bates, because they don't have the name, image, and license or likeness ready to go, I mean, they can't afford him. Like, if he goes to the G League, he can sign $25 million with clothing and Gatorade and whatever shoe company that is in there. I know whatever they couldn't do it in college, but can he get the same shoe deal? I mean, he get at least $25 million. So unless they put the NIL in there, he was never going to Michigan State, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. The thing to keep an eye on is they got a bill that they're trying to rush through, but they don't think it's going to be ready to go by Christmas. So that's when they got the news, I think, over the last 2 weeks when they said it was going to play out like that. There are two schools that have the name, image, and likeness starting in July where the teams or the players can profit from their NIL. The two states are Florida and Mississippi. So I know Texas and Tennessee, I've offered them just like everybody else, but if he's going to college, he's going to Florida State, he's going to Miami, or he's going to Ole Miss or Mississippi State. So either that or he's going to the G League. They can't afford $25 million. What can he make at Michigan State? Nothing. He's going to get $100,000 to go to school as a freshman. That doesn't compare when you can get, 250 times more going somewhere else, either Florida, Mississippi, or the G League. Just, it was the finances there. But it's all sports now, man. Everybody's hitting the portal. Your team's shaking up. You got to get grad transfers. You got to get recruiting's one part of it and being able to keep guys and develop them. But, man, you got to be able to hit that portal and grab transfers and grad transfers, and you got to get this thing going. The landscape has changed like that. You saw what Michigan did last year. They did it perfectly. Had a nice crop of freshmen coming in. They had some players there that stayed around, and they went out there and hit on their two grad transfers or their two transfers, and Sean D. Brown and Mike Smith. That's what you got to do. I think State will be all right. I mean, they'll bring in some. They got a point guard coming in, and they got some other. They got a point transfer coming in, and they've got some recruits coming in. They're going to be okay.
Yeah, I think these young guys, these young players, guys like Imani Bates, I think Izzo's become the old get off my lawn guy. I mean, you see the altercation he had with Aaron Henry a couple years ago, where Cassius Winston had to hold him back. You see the incident against UCLA with him and Gabe Brown, and I think that kind of turns some of the young guys off. They see stuff like that, and I'm not saying that's the only reason why they don't want to go there, but other stuff, like you said, other states you could benefit off your likeness. And, it's all about money at the end of the day. Guys going the G League route or even going overseas. So I think they see stuff like that. That doesn't help. And, also you see what Juwan Howard's doing over at Michigan. Like, why go to state now when I can go play for the Big Ten Coach of the Year, a team that, should have been in the Final Four. So, that's my take on it. Reed, how do you feel about it? You think MSU's in trouble, or you think this is nothing?
I don't think they're necessarily in trouble. I think it was nice, to see, for MSU fans, as I've spoken before, I do, for the state of Michigan, I do root for MSU, but I'm overall a Florida State fan. I think that it's more or less, it gave them kind of hope to have these younger guys coming in, but I kind of think that it was always, written in the stars that these younger kids were going to go the way of the money. Like Dennis said, where you can go to the G League and you can make a bunch of money, unless you're going to like a Duke or, like a bigger name school, which Michigan State's pretty big for basketball. But, unless they're going to one of those, I think it left a sour taste in some of these kids' mouths when they see a first round exit, from Michigan State losing to a UCLA. So I don't necessarily think they're in trouble. I just never thought that, they were going to get a sexy pick like this, the young star coming out and he was going to stick with the team. I just think that everybody's going to go, and when it comes to basketball, big name program like Duke or something like that, or they're going to start going the way of the money and just going straight off to the G League. maybe the NBA changes that rule and they can come straight out of high school again. I don't know, but
Bates to Florida State. Let's go.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that works too. I'm down for anybody coming to Florida State. Like I said, I'm a fan of theirs. So, yeah, I don't think they're in trouble. I think they're all right.